Would you rather be blind or dickless, dude? These days, probably dickless, I think. I had a blind kid in my neighborhood when I was growing up, and actually, no, this dude was deaf, actually. And they beat him up for doing bad magic, because he was always doing all of this, and people thought he was doing magic with no tricks, and they beat him. So,
I actually used to do it. I had a deal where we used to, I remember selling, I got caught up with this outfit where we were tattooing guinea pigs and selling them after Green Day concerts, man. Selling them outside of concerts.
You would shave them and then tattoo them?
Yeah, these dudes would shave them and tattoo them, $25. They would sell them, and because people was coming out of there on ecstasies, and they wanted
ecstasies.
Warm animal, $30, $25. You get an animal and a
Oh,
bag.
warm animal. What?
Genius for
Yeah.
eating, petting, squeezing,
for
sleeping.
2 a.m. You're out of raving. You've been out raving.
For friendship. People buy TVs for friendship.
Yeah, well, what do you think most people buy them for?
I thought maybe put up their asses or something on
No, not a
ecstasy.
guinea pig.
Maybe.
Nobody's putting a guinea pig up their ass.
Yeah,
not
you
in
pervert.
America.
You pervert.
For friendship? Who the like, goddamn, I'm like, is that a guinea pig tattoo with Green Day on it? I'll take two, man.
Most of America.
It's kind of genius because what you just said is that when you're done raving, you might want a warm animal. You want a warm animal.
Well, some people, if you don't have somebody and you get out of the rave and you're on the drugs and everybody's out
On the
there,
drugs.
you're not gonna. What are you gonna get? You gonna just lay there by yourself with your hands?
Yes! I ain't behind two tattooed guinea pigs who are
No.
shaved.
Well, you're gonna brush.
You probably have like a Gatorade or something. Don't do all of that. You gotta have somebody there with you.
You're gonna drag your fingertips across the palms of your hands.
Yeah, like this over and over
Now, don't
again.
be weird.
When you could have a tattooed warm animal in your hands,
Hey, don't be weird by tattoo warm animal shaved.
they tattoo on the guinea pig.
Just something basic, like a
Nolans?
star or like a they had like this Marilyn Manson type of hat. They used to put like a top hat kind of thing, or just something
Some
that was
weird
They had three
shit,
or four
bro.
things, almost like those Christmas cookie maker things.
Yeah.
Almost something like that, like basic.
Poor little guinea pig must have been traumatized because that's needles on its skin, and he's like, I don't want to be jumped into your biker gang.
Dude, if you believe that guinea pigs have that much intuition and feeling, I mean, they're the bottom of the pig chain.
You know, once I started growing my hair, first of all, because people were like, oh, people don't like gay people where you're from. And I was like, we've been wearing women's haircuts since I was a fucking kid. Okay? You cannot imagine.
We've been cross-dressing forever.
Dude, you know how many
now.
lesbians I've sat next to and got my hair cut? Growing up? Countless, dude. At least
amazing.
9.
At the lunch table, we get some kids who were mentals, or a couple of them might have been mentals, and a couple kids that were well, and we get there and sit them to make them drink milk and then tell jokes and do stuff until one of them just blew milk out of their face, And if you get some straight up just couple mentals, boy, some straight up sawed off humans, you get them to straight up blow leche out their dome, dude. That's America right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I knew I was like, I got some kind of a gift here. I almost blew the throat out of this one boy. Almost blew the throat out of this one boy named Tot. T-O-T was his name. Kind of a bad name too to be mentally challenged, but also easy for him to spell. And I'm not joking. That's what his father said. And easy for him to spell backward and forward. Same name, Tot. So that's true, man.
Was this guy's his name was Todd?
Why are you so laughing at him?
It's just a funny sounding name, that's all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was
so
pretty funny,
where
I
this
guess.
guy-
Tot.
Yeah, well, let's
Tot.
talk about Tot.
Sometimes he would just say T-O-T was his name, but I knew
Yeah.
it was Tot.
Yeah.
He would try to spell it out, and, like he was tricking me.
There weren't that many female comics like when I started. Like now there's like a ton, but I
No.
felt like
It
I
was
had
like you, Barry Sobel.
Judy Tenuta,
yeah.
Phyllis Diller.
No, there weren't as many.
So to a gay man would be fun because there's a feminine energy to him that would be like almost like having a girlfriend.
Oh, it's the
kind of thing.
largest Pomeranian you can have if you're a woman. Is a gay husband. Yeah?
Yes.
That guy used to tell us, right? He'd give you $30 just to tell you he'd been jerking off. This older dude. I remember when I was young. He used to say that. I'd be like, look, I'm going to tell you something, all right? And we'd be like, all right. And he'd say, I've been jerking off.
Give me $30.
No, and then he would give us $30 to keep quiet. Because we were children, but he wasn't supposed to be saying it to us.
Oh, he paid you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not paying him for him to tell me that. I don't give a fuck. I assumed that when I met him.
Oh my God.
But here was the thing, though. I never even got to this, dude, was that So my sister, one time, we lived together for a while, right? And this is probably about 8 years ago. They had this other dancer that worked with her, came over to our place, right? Stole our vacuum, right? She was on these Klonopins and everything, and then she got all fucking, warm under the skin one night on them pills and fucking stole our vacuum,
As you do.
I wasn't there when she stole it, but literally I could picture her probably trying to put it in her purse, like the stick end in the purse and the fucking huge vacuum hanging out, right?
Oh.
Dude, fast forward year and a half, right? I'm not even living with my sister anymore. I'm in New Orleans for a bachelorette party or somewhere, or Baton Rouge somewhere, or a bachelor party. They got a big money deal, right? They wheel in one of those cakes where the women pop out, like the fake cake, and they pop out and they dance, right? One of the chicks that pops out is the bitch that stole my vacuum, bro, right? So everybody else, I have no idea. I totally forgot about this.
You bitch.
Oh, everybody else is tipping these bitches and shaking both of their ass cheeks at the same time, with each hand, like they're, like doing a really fast.
Vote for me.
Yeah, like vote for me with both hands.
Yeah, vote for me.
And here I am in the background, and all I can think is that bitch stole my vacuum, dude. Bro, I had half of a nerve to just the whole time just make vacuum sounds in the back, just like. I was so pissed, bro.
What'd she do when she saw you?
Huh?
What did she do when she?
She acted like she didn't know. And that's the thing I don't like about people, I guess, that steal vacuums is when they see you, they act like you don't remember. Like, I'm not going to remember you stole a vacuum from. I wasn't on Klonopins. I wasn't on Somas,
How do you get away with a vacuum? Like, doesn't someone, if I was in an apartment building and I saw someone who was on like Klonopins with a vacuum just running down the stairs. Bless you.
Well, it's half of America. It's half of the neighborhood around here probably is on Klonopins.
What can they give you a vacuum? I mean, if you came over my house with a vacuum, what can I give you? The small 15?
I was going to say at least 30.
That's like I don't know. What if it goes kaput after they go down the block? I'm no vacuum mechanic, but I know that there's a little fuck in there. And when you hit something up, the belt breaks. Like I used to have a Kirby vacuum, and they come with a package as a belt. I couldn't do it. Whenever the vacuum broke, my mom had to take it off and put the vacuum on.
Yeah.
And you got to be like a nation. You got to unplug it, or the vacuum will suck your fingers in. so nice to you.
What kind of
got a great vacuum.
Kind of Cuban can't fix a vacuum? That's what I want.
My mom.
Undeniably cute. Bobby's
So
probably.
cute.
Bobby, it's crazy. Even Bobby versus a black baby, I'd pick Bobby. And that's wild. Usually black baby wins.
Black babies
hands
are the
down.
cutest,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Paper rocks black baby. Black baby wins every time, dude. But you do paper Bobby black baby, dude. Bobby beats black baby sometimes, man. One time, the only game I ever went to for the Lakers was when Kobe scored 81 points. It's the only game I've ever been to in my whole life. And I shared like a bowl of peanuts in like some fancy club lounge. It was for players only, I think. And then I got a picture of Chris next to Chris Rock by the bathroom. And he was not happy about it. And I made his wife take it. Asked his wife to take it. And didn't make her do anything. This isn't a Me Too. Who did we have? We had this dude named Brian Brian Purvis, the first wigger ever, and they don't have him anymore. They have a couple left, I think, outside of maybe Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But he was like the first white kid that ever wanted to be black, and they'd never seen it before. And they put him in mentally handicapped classes because they thought he was mentally challenged.
Is that what they used to do with wiggers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't know. They'd never seen it before. So they put him in there.
Wow. I can
So they
see
had
that.
people that were really, people that were just, didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Deaf people, blind people that were, free-base victims, all kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you just had Brian Purvis just dribbling an invisible basketball, just wearing a fucking Charlotte Hornets pullover, starter pullover, Apex, and just blowing menthols and at people.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, we don't know what he has.
Is Brian still in an institution or is he out?
No, he's out. Somebody sent me a picture of him the other day. I think he's in prison somewhere, he's in jail or in or out of jail. But
Yeah.
I wish him well. He's a nice kid. He still looks the same. Had nice eyes. I remember that he had pretty eyes for a young fella that had a rare disease.
Yeah.
But he was one of the wildest locally.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
people didn't know what was going on. They're like, oh, we don't know.
Yeah.
Science doesn't know.
Yeah.
And he was just, nothing was wrong. He was just, he bought Shaquille O'Neal's rap album and he just watched Space Jam all the time.
Yeah.
And he listened to Boys to Men. He was just wig it up.
Rodentia, yeah.
Once you popped up into like rabbits, I was out. When you
You all right, bro?
God, bro.
You okay, buddy?
What happened? Was that a hate crime? Are we gay? What happened? I saw some images, and you had like a kind of a V-cut dress,
Yep.
and it was like about 10% of titty on each side,
Yep.
kind of gleaming out.
Yeah,
Just
gleaming.
peeking out, boy.
Yeah, I
just
I
globing
brought it.
around the side,
Well, I feel like I'm falling in love, and I wanted to know how tall you were because I feel like I tower over you in these stilettos.
Okay, you can call them stilettos if you want. I call them working heels. I am a healthy 6'1".
Oh, nice.
Recently been tested, totally chill on the up and up.
Oh, well done.
Grew up in Covington, Louisiana, and our town's famous. Lee Harvey Oswald went to our middle school. Pistol Pete Maravich lived and died in our town.
Really?
Two good shooters. That's the joke that I use off of that.
I think I just thought this was the only way, and I did hair,
What do you
and
mean
I
you
just
did hair?
I spit into her hair.
Got it. Oh, right.
Yeah, and I'm not. I mean, this is just when I look back on it now. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is the only
Now,
way.
if you love a woman, you spit on their front side of their head. yeah. So you weren't that
Well,
far.
now I'll just lick under their chin.
You were close. Is that a thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
If
called.
a guy did that to me during sex, I would not be able to stop laughing for like 45 minutes.
It's called the Virginia Mud Trail. Have you heard about that? It's
No, I haven't.
okay.
Yeah, but
It's
I thought
different.
it was the Nantucket wine tasting.
Yeah, it's different now. That's when you had a grape.
Nantucket sleigh ride intersects with something licking your face.
Yeah, that's when you eat grapes out from under somebody's arm. I think. And that's a Marina Del Rey wine tasting.
Theo Vaughn!
Hey,
All
John.
right,
How
good
are
to
you?
see Come sit down.
You bet, huh?
Good to see you. Oh,
Let's bang with our words,
all
huh?
right.
So.
Do a little bit of. He was so old that.
Yeah, he was so like the kids at school be like, my dad can beat up your dad, and I'd be like, your dad has more organs than my dad. But my dad used to bang your grandmother, and it was true because there was a girl in my elementary school class who my dad used to hook up with her grandmother in the early 30s.
Back to the secret, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My dirty little secret. And one time I was with my boyfriend and I had put deodorant on and he, I guess, licked or his mouth was
Yeah.
on something. And then I kind of opened my eyes and I just saw him go,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, when you get deodorant in your mouth, like it's such an unmistakable consistency.
Oh, definitely, dude.
Because it like part of your tongue like goes numb.
Oh, that's called that's called the
That's not called.
I think it's called a Hartford back alley. Yeah. That's out of Connecticut. That's that Hartford back alley. When you actually lick a girl's armpit, you get deodorant in your mouth. You know?
And like, you know how it's like gets real dry,
Oh yeah.
like on your tongue.
Oh, because it's an antiperspirant, so it takes all the moisture out of your tongue.
All of a sudden you just got that like sandpaper on the tip of your tongue. And I saw him because I remember he did it and I like squinted just to look over to see what he was doing. He was like,
My buddy used to do that when his grandmother would be too loud. He put a little bit of deodorant on her tongue.
no, he didn't.
Yeah, he did have her quiet down a little bit, and she didn't mind it. I don't think is a little bit of attention. But one thing I want to say is this. So, first of all, which put you out of my dating class, I like a motel. You know what I'm saying? I like thin windows. You know what I'm talking about? I like it when a truck goes by. You find what type of truck it was just from the Morse code of that window rattle. You know, I like that thing. I like a couple of flies in the room, you know. I feel like when you come in, you already have roommates. You just don't know where they are. You know what I'm saying? I like that just dirty hole. 6 and 4, baby.
Who got
Baby
6
Blazers.
and who got 4? What, is
No,
the
that
6
was
the
our
loss or the
schedule.
win?
6 is the win. You always do the wins first.
Okay, got 6 and 4. Got it.
Yeah, 6 and 4, baby Blazers, dude. And one of our players had to quit at 12 because he got a woman pregnant, dude.
At 12?
Yeah, and it was a black guy.
A
Some people were
woman or a
thinking it wasn't,
girl?
It was. He got a girl.
How
Who
was she?
They were in love, I guess, but they were children, you know.
Yeah.
She was probably 16.
Because he wasn't trying to get her pregnant by spitting on the back of her neck. He did it the right way. He knew how to
Look,
get it done.
I'm glad the birds and the beanstalk that I got came from a hairdresser. That's the one thing I'm happy about.
I used to work on this farm in the summer times outside in Natchez, Mississippi, and they had and this dude Don Blankenstein was the pool guy every year, right? And he'd come out there, and I'd keep an eye on him because the dude weighed probably 700 or 800 pounds, bro. You know what I'm saying? He broke the gate every time he come in. He fucked.
The lifeguard?
He was, you know.
How can you be a lifeguard, 800 pounds?
Bro, he gets in the pool. Trust me, nobody's drowning, bro. All the water's out, and the kid who's sick is laying right there at his feet.
He was the boss at the pool.
No, he was the guy who came to put the cleaner in the pool. And so, but he'd open the gate, bro, and every time he'd walk through it and bring both sides of the gate down. Like he was
he was gonna die soon, you know, when you saw him, you know, so you treated him well. And that's one thing I like sometimes about seeing huge people. It reminds you how to treat other people, because you're like, oh, this person isn't gonna be alive very long, so you would be extra nice to him. And so, but then Don, one summer, I'm out there laying by the pool, and this skinny guy comes in. You know, he could have fit through the gate with 90 of his, you know, quintuplets or whatever. And he comes through the gate, and I'm like, who? And he keeps talking to me. And I'm thinking the guy's kind of a, you know, peppermint hunter, bruh. You know what I'm saying? A little tender. And it turns out it's Don Blankenstein. He got the stomach thing, and he lost all the weight. And he was a different person, though. He wasn't the same. I don't know. It wasn't the same, and our relationship was never the same as when he lost the weight.
Well, no worries. Keep doing this. In a little bit, we're going to do an Aziz Ansari act out in case like we're at the same place and you have to rest. You know,
Was she on Tylenol PM?
She wasn't. So
no,
we can
she's
take that
22
part out.
and she's smarter than
But
I
being
am.
22 is like being on Tylenol
Basically
PM.
the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's the Tylenol PM of age. But no, we will do a thing in a little bit where when this Tylenol PM sets in more, where how a man should behave around a woman.
A woman who's intoxicated.
Who wants to
See,
rest.
I almost said incarcerated. It's starting to kick in. It's
And
starting
make
to
sure you
kick
get
in.
one of those right, because the intoxicated role play and the incarcerated role play.
Very different role, different orifices, frankly.
Totally different. Yeah. Well, you're
Like
tall too. It's not fun
Yeah.
trying to tall girl, really, honestly.
Oh no! Really?
I mean, here's the thing. I come in, I'm that Polish bad boy. I roll in at 6 feet, you know.
Mhm.
I'm that Polish Nicaraguan, I'm that, you know, I roll in at that, you know, just that basic height. And so, and it's hard. It's definitely, you have to have a little bit more of a plan. You got to really want to.
Not a bad idea.
The Theo strand?
That strain, boy.
That strain, dog.
Makes you it'll cure Down syndrome, bro. I beat it.
How you beat it?
There was a lot of rumors in my town that I beat Down syndrome.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's inspiring, man.
That's how I felt when I heard them, because I didn't start them. And that's one of the things that's beautiful about sometimes being in a small town is, you know, it doesn't take long for you to hear shit yourself.
The best joke I ever heard, some guy said, I don't even know who said it. He said, when I masturbate these days, it looks like two white guys getting out of a submarine.
Hunt for the Red October.
And I thought that was the best joke ever. Here's one of my favorite jokes. What's the last thing you want to hear when you're giving a blow to Willie Nelson?
What?
I'm not Willie Nelson.
That's a good
I don't
one.
know who told me that. But God, that's a good joke, man.
Hate, I
Well,
think.
well, you think?
I mean, there's just more. I mean, not in like a, if I know you know, but if I just see you, dude, walking by, yeah, dude.
More than you?
Oh, dude. I'm like, who's this? Bro, you look like a mechanic from Nordstrom Rack, dude. That's the problem, dude. You're like, damn, I didn't know Nordstrom Rack did tires, you know? This dude looks like a fuck. Yeah.
Hooking up with one of these guys, and I'm like, you idiot. You get to hook up with me right now. I don't do this all the time. I don't like hook up.
Yeah.
And I just was, but I was feeling so great that night. And it was such a fun night that I was like, I deserve this. I deserve
prom.
to get fit tonight. And so
I'm taking him behind the bowling alley tonight.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Break out the buckets of gravel in the distance. Let's you know. Let's party, dude. You know, fire
Get your
away.
rocks ready.
Fire away.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm not totally sure how it comes together. Like
There's no plans,
what
nothing.
the pomade situation is, if anything. Like I'm so curious if there's like a dry shampoo or is there an LA Looks
dry
gel?
shampoo.
Is this like a hot oil? Is there a
It might be a
tea?
VO5
Is there a
thing.
glue gun involved? I'm just not sure.
Oh, it's all, but the back is all done at Michael's Crafts.
There is. There is a very mysterious process involved in it. Like, can people touch it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's petable, dude. And so many fucking raccoons come out when I'm out outside my yard. I'm not even joking, dude. So
They're like,
many.
Dad?
Oh yeah.
We didn't have a lot of Asians, man. We had a. There was a rumor of an Asian when I was first.
What was his name?
I'm not sure.
What was the rumor? What was the rumor?
The rumor was, and I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. They had a rumor that there was an Asian kid, right? And this is after, because we got a
Latino kid. We got a Latino kid.
Yeah.
Named,
Not a family, just one kid.
Congratulations.
One guy. Nicholas was his name, and he had a little bit of light facial hair.
Nicholas,
Everybody
yeah.
was fired up about that. Fired. There was a lot of rumors and stuff going around about that.
Yeah.
Because people had never seen that on children. You know, it was like.
Would be light hair on the face?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
People were like, he's trying to grow a sideburn on his chin.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, cool, Theo.
You wearing shampoo?
No, I'm wearing Gucci Flora.
Oh, whoa, a showboater, huh? I was just hoping you had a little bit of Garnier Fructus in there, right? I get up in that.
30-pound bag of hamster bone, like, I mean, that's because you have to. There's not as much meat. There's very little bone in a hamster, bro. Them hamps got a hamp probably has like an eighth of an ounce in its chest plate, bro. You can't even make a wish on their bones. You know, there's nothing in there.
Where do you get all those hamsters from?
Well, they breed them in our town. I used to work for this group. They used to sell tattooed hamsters and guinea pigs after.
They tattoo them?
Yeah, they used to brand them with concerts and raves. They would say it's tattooed just to make people not be as sad about it. But it was a brand, bro.
Of what?
With like heat and ink, bro.
For what? Like, what did it say?
311, Green Day, anything like of different bands that were coming to town. Toadies. Swear to God, bro. Toadies, Acid Bath. Who else? Rave. Whatever, bro. We used to truck these hamps into the city and vend them, bro. We did, man. Because there wasn't much work in our town, dude. You know, you had to get what you could get, and they had a man that bred hamsters, and then they had to do the tattoos, and they met up, and that was a merger. That's big business, you know. And they started
a merger.
They started doing it.
Man, I got me some 300 mouse in my house and shit. Like I was like, you know what, man? I'm a pretty good tattoo artist.
That's Louisiana,
and that's it. A merger is formed.
This one girl I knew, like there was so much squirting sometimes. Like I would like check to see if she was okay. Like it was like, it was almost biblical, you know, a couple of chapters of it. It was just like, this is, you know, I felt bad. Like the cat would come around because he thought I'd cut the faucet on. Like just kind of like.
The first Asian I ever saw, well, I saw some drawings, right? I remember definitely seeing a lot of drawings when we were kids of Asians because they're easy to draw. So a lot of kids would draw Asians, right? After that, true story, the next Asian I ever saw, the closest real Asian, was that picture in the Guinness Book of World Records when there's like an Asian, like 17 Asian kids on a bicycle. Remember that one, the famous picture?
Yeah, that's it?
No, that was just the first. I was like, holy shit, look what they can do, you know? And it made me but it made us do cool stuff on our bike and like see what we could do. And then there was a rumor when I was about 14 that there was an Asian boy. There was a rumor there was an Asian boy about 17 miles away from us. And me and two of my buddies, one of them who had a bad neck, his fella had a pretty bad, you know, that fifth appendage, the neck. People don't think about it. You got to strengthen it. And his was real lean, barely hold his head up. He almost had to walk around like this and also hold his head up with one of his arms. But he and I and another kid got together and decided we want to go see this Asian, you know, this rumored Asian.
Right. Yeah.
So we saved up money. We cut grass for about 6 weeks and saved up money to get a taxi.
Just to see this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Went to Slidell, Louisiana to go visit him. And
Well, you just went to his house?
No, it was the address that we got.
Oh, how'd you get this address?
Dude, you can get information.
Okay. Okay.
And this is back before the internet, too. So this is when you'd ask around.
Yeah.
And then guess a little. Mm-hmm. And we went to see him and tried to go see him, but it was just a Chinese food restaurant.
Oh, he's a Chinese guy.
It wasn't a real Chinese person. It was just, I think, some kind of white people in hats. And it was like, I don't know, it might have been like a Mexican Jewish guy running it.
Oh.
Girl in our town, we locked this big girl one time. We ate some acid, and we locked this big girl into a room at this party. And we kept going in there with lots of warm water. Pouring it on. I feel bad. I feel horrible, dude. I didn't look. We was kids, and we were on acid, dude. And then, bro,
You can't tell me this story when I'm straight. You gotta tell me on mushrooms. You locked the girl.
I just remember.
How old were you?
I just remembered
How old were
it.
you?
Probably 16.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, but here's the thing. Let's say I was 14. That way it makes it sound not as bad. But look, she
were 8.
No, she ate acid with us, bro. She ate acid with us, dude. And what happened was, and we kept going in the room with like these pots of warm. I don't know why we had the pots of warm water because I think we just were up, dude. And we would like pour a little on her, but not like torture. She wasn't in a cage or nothing. She was just, free range in this room, right? But I think she was scared to come out. And then one time we went in, bro. We heard this loud sound, and we went in. And
I wonder why.
She had ran against one of the walls so hard, bro. Had moved the entire wall in this house, dude. Huge girl, about 240 pounds. Beautiful girl, too. The most beautiful, biggest girl that I've ever known.
Oh, my God.
Beautiful girl. Beautiful hair, beautiful face. Large and beautiful. But she got lifted, bro. I think my first love, I was in love with my buddy's mom, actually, dude. And I used to sneak over into their hamper. This is kind of crazy. And huff them cups, bro. She had this big Brazilian. I'd hide in there and fuck them cups, daddy. And just smell that thing as hard as I could, man, until my freaking lungs almost blew out.
Very awkward and being like, no boy will ever like me or see me as someone that they would want to date.
I could
And
see
then
you as that long breadstick. I'd want to get at it.
Thank
you. Know?
you.
Want to
Oh my-
carb up on that puss, dude. Come on. You don't think that people would want to?
I went to, not rats, it's like the limousine of rats. Ferret.
Oh.
And I had to share a room one night with 2 of those.
No. Wait, has he said that before?
I haven't heard it.
Oh, I'll tell you this story, dude.
Wait, have you said limousine of rat before? That is so
No, why? Ferrets urinate on each other's
funny.
backs.
That's you are truly.
No, you are my.
You know that
essay. I'm just gonna say essay. I'm not gonna say.
You
ferret
are
animal.
so funny, and I can't let the limousine of rats, a ferret, go.
If that's
is,
the funniest thing we've said on this episode, then we are not doing well.
What,
I'll
are you
say that.
kidding me?
You're doing great. I think you look great.
No, I think that is the funniest thing, and I'm fine saying that's the funniest thing I've ever been a part of ever. Oh, man. That's so funny.
Leave out of there, dude. You feel like damn, just John Wayne Gacy or whatever. Who's the John Wayne? Sorry. Yeah, Gacy's a serial killer. But you feel like, like you have in your fingertips, you have the magic.
Yeah.
Because you got a woman off, you didn't get anything, you didn't bust, so you got all this chi built up, so you're rolling around town just with a magic touch, you got that King Midas, you got that clitoral King Midas you're running around.
If you were sent back to the Roman Empire with a fully charged iPhone, do you think you could take over the world, dude? No, dude, I think they would probably beat you up. They would say you're gay and they would beat you. If you want to be honest. And no offense if anybody's gay, I might be gay.
Unfortunately, almost knocked this young lady up that was from South Dakota. She lived on a reservation, yeah.
Oh.
And she threatened to have the baby.
Oh, damn. How old were you?
37 this year. It was this year. And she wouldn't even be cool. She threatened to have the baby, dude. And I just met her at a motel. And she threatened to have a baby, man.
Hello and welcome to Trigonometry. I'm Francis Foster.
I'm Konstantin Kisin.
And this is a show for you if you want honest conversations with fascinating people.
Our brilliant guest today is already taking the piss out of us. It's the amazing American comedian Theo Von. Welcome to Trigonometry.
You guys have, we call it autism. I don't know what you guys call it, bro, but we got.
So my trick is this: I'll go outside at night, right? I'll stand with with the yard behind me. Dude, raccoons start coming out. They see it. And then I go like that, and there'll be 2 or 3 raccoons there.
A brother took a bite out of a Vietnamese guy once, dude. Took a huge bite out of his arm, bro. Meat and everything, bro. Ripped it right out.
Jesus.
The Vietnamese guy was threatening him with all this karate shit and everything, and his brother just grabbed him and fucking bit right into him, dude. Bit right
if you
into
think about it, that's the way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
That stops karate all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Because I don't care what type of karate you got, they ain't got no defense for the bite. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got. Well, what if goes to bite you?
Oh my God.
Hold on, I gotta call the main jab and because I want to get these.
Hold on, let me put my Komodo on, dude. And they bite your ass, dude. I actually just got fat recently, like this past year.
I'm so sorry,
Dude, you're killing
And that
me.
doesn't mean I'm serious, man. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody that's
Yeah,
bigger or not. You know,
yeah.
I might be gay when I get older.
Yeah.
So you never know. To me, you never know what life has kind of in store for you, you know, or what's around the next turn. I don't put anything out of it. That's why when people are say like, you know, they have issues with gays or they have issues with fats or whatever, like that could be you next week. And that could be, that's why I don't put anything out.